wisdom just goes a long way. Wisdom really does go a long way and has longevity of this whole crash out mentality, or like men ruling the world mentality, has really just caused like turmoil and destruction. And like the woman, the feminine figures having that wisdom and discernment, and in the long run like can destroy you if they feel like it, out of retaliation. You know what I mean? Not just like the aggressor. And there's points that I'm trying to make of like how I'm hard on myself sometimes, because I feel like when I don't immediately crash out on somebody, there's like the male figures in my head as a kid, like, oh, you're not gonna beat their ass, like you're not gonna like stand up for yourself and da da da. Like sometimes like when you really just look at people and like really just look at them, they're really trying to get you to like act out of character. And like people are just gonna see you the way they want to see you. And it's really complex like that. Like people are just gonna see the way they want to see you, and you punching somebody in their shit or whatever, or just thinking your first thought and reacting on it can really hurt you. Like can really just, because you got to put you before everybody. So it's like when you do that, there's a lot of things you could just walk away from and really just look at people like, like, oh, I see what you're trying to do here, you know? And then like the last thing people want to do, which requires wisdom, is like nobody wants to talk it out. They don't want to talk it out. Or you walking away can really like trigger somebody of like, fuck, they didn't react, because you have the wisdom. And then it's like when you kind of product that of like doing other things to like express that anger or frustration, or really just be above that shit, bigger person, personality, can benefit you in certain ways. But it's like you're doing it in a way of like, you're not gonna run over me. I give you that look, you know? Because having wisdom, right? Think about like the people that are picked on the most. They think outside the box. They irritate people that don't have that brain power like that. So those people that don't have the wisdom retaliate out of violence and anger, and just cut and dry like destruction, like of your spirit and your body. And it's like, of course, act out of self defense, but if you're really not threatened and they're just like talking and saying who you are, keep in mind of like who you are. You know, I like using the term that like NBA YoungBoy uses in his song, like, I am who you say I am. That's just what comes with the game. Like when you have eyes on you like that, or if you play a certain role in your life that like you're breaking like generational curses, and that takes wisdom, that takes discernment, that takes patience, that takes seeing past the bullshit of like people trying to invite you to their circus, that's gonna like have you put in jail, have you on drugs, have you crash out, have you question like, am I a good person, am I a monster, you know? But it's like, just stay wise, and just move through this life with like, yeah, there's the negativity, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna do something positive. Rather that's screaming into a fucking mic and saying fuck this world and this, that, and the third, or just be accepting with all that comes with it, you know? And just self defending yourself, of course, whatever that looks like. But at the end of the day, like, I just don't see a wise person being the aggressor, because you're like tunnel vision. You're locked in of like the greater good of things within you and outside of you. So you are literally stooping down. You are literally better than some people that are just considered pathetic, but they use like aggression and strength of hurting others and putting down others as, I'm superior. But what's really superior is the wisdom the divine feminine wisdom. You know, the divine masculine is like, that's great, you know? But what I see this world moving into is like the divine feminine, people just doing things out of wisdom and not really acting out of violence, really just outsmarting these people that are really trying to pull these strings with it, whether if it's in your family or a bully that you have, or people just stepping in your way of trying to knock you off your path. Really take a closer look at that and then go the other way. And the other way is around them and watch them slowly deteriorate.